So, Chelsea, you completed the 5 days with us at the GO program. You just completed your 5th treatment, where you walked all the way to the stairway.
Almost the length of the hotel and back.
Yeah. And you actually walked up. I saw you go up and down 4 sets of stairs. And then, I don't think we recorded it, but you turned around and went up, I think, 7 more.
Probably double
Yeah.
the first round.
And then back down.
Mm-hmm.
So, huge accomplishment. And then you actually walked back here to your room, which was on the other side of the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So, you've made lots and lots of progress this week, and in fact, going home a different.
Very different situation going home.
Yeah. So, on a pain scale, after your treatment today, where do you think you were?
Well, after I got back and sat down for a little bit, probably a 1 for a long time.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, I don't know that the pain scale is as important as the progress. So, I'm just kind of curious as to what that was. But tell us about your experience this week, kind of from start to finish, what you were anticipating versus what happened or what you expected. Maybe it did or did not meet what you thought this may have been about.
Yeah. Well, when I first came, I thought it would be nice if I could get where I could maybe stand up without leaning on something, because that was hurting my arms and back. And if I could just take a shower by myself, just little things like that. And I did not expect to get up and walk on the second day. I thought maybe the last day I'll be able to stand or something. So that was really surprising, and I definitely didn't think I'd be walking upstairs. But it's like every day I've been doing it, it's gotten easier to push myself further.
Mm-hmm.
And my legs feel better, they look better.
I'm going to scroll down here to your legs. Because when you came in, the legs were blotchy type of, you describe it, but you can describe it more better than I can, actually.
Yeah, well, there was usually, definitely always at least one spot on each leg that was hot. It was always like a different spot on the legs. They never looked the same. All this color and spots that are happening now wasn't there. And I had, I believe, circulation problems big time from not moving enough. And so now, yesterday I didn't have to put anything cold on my legs. Usually I do wet cold cloths. I didn't do it once, and then only had to do it this morning because I was laying on my side and probably heated up like that. But the heat, when it does come, it doesn't last as long, and the pain is bearable, and it doesn't keep me from walking and stuff as much as it did.
Do you feel like you're going home with a different outlook,
Yeah, everything's different.
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to do more things by myself and get out more and all that, and don't have to worry about a big fancy wheelchair that does all kinds of stuff, because I can do things myself now.
Do you see yourself only going up from here? Do you see?
Definitely.
And we're going to be tracking your progress. I know your mom's going to help us with
Mhm.
that. Yeah, we want to know what you're doing so we can keep up with you and keep posting things to help others, because we're really trying to reach out and get the program out and try to help others, especially like yourself. So I'm going to scroll over to your mom and let her say a few things. Sorry, Jody. So, and let her kind of tell us what she has gotten out of this program and what she expected versus what took place, that sort of thing. I'm sorry, Jody. I know you don't like the camera.
That's okay.
So, Jody, coming into this is Chelsea's mom, Jody. Coming into this, what did you think? What did you think this was going to be? Because we really didn't give you any real idea. I mean, we gave you a general idea, but Was it unlike anything you had in your mind you thought it would be?
It definitely was. I mean, I was thinking when we came that I was hoping that she could walk or move better by the time we left. You know, by the time the week was over, I was hoping she could take a few steps and maybe not need the wheelchair as much, or at least get back on her crutches more. So it was definitely more than I expected,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
But so she was mainly confined to the wheelchair before this, or?
Yeah, she's been in the wheelchair since March 19th. Well, she fell. When she fell, she twisted her right ankle and her left knee. And the orthopedic doctor, the second orthopedic doctor we saw, said that she actually twisted both knees. So when she originally fell, both of her legs were injured, so she wasn't able to walk at all. She was on crutches for a couple of weeks, and then we had to go get a manual chair to push her in because it was just too hard for her to get around. And she was dragging a boot on her ankle. And then when her knees started heating up, we were afraid they were septic, and we kept going to the doctors. They didn't know what to do. So we were afraid to have her push herself too much, because every time we pushed her, her knees would get hotter and the pain would get a lot worse. And so our, without getting any information from the doctors, our solution was to let her rest and try to recover.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was in a wheelchair most of the time. Even every time she goes to the bathroom, she rings her bell or texts my husband or myself. We take her to the bathroom and back to her bed. And so that's basically been her life since March.
So how do you succumb to the thought that possibly this may be the rest of her life, the rest of your life?
That was really hard, because we didn't know at first what we were dealing with. And then it was about a month ago that when we heard of CRPS for the first time, and I mentioned it to the doctor, and he said she definitely has all of the symptoms, and he wanted her to see a rheumatologist. And then the rheumatologist confirmed that that's what it is. And with all the research and everything the doctors told us, we knew. Well, when the doctor, I asked him for a temporary handicap parking sticker thing, you know, that goes on the windshield, because it was too hard for me to get her in and out of the wheelchair and then push her all the way through the parking lot, because I have to park way out to get her in and out of the wheelchair. And he gave us a 5-year one, and that was the point where I was thinking, this is long term, because I couldn't figure out why he wasn't just giving us one for a couple months. Because we started renting the wheelchair, we rented it for a week and then another week, and then we found out it was cheaper to rent it for the month. And then we kept thinking we're going to take it back. Well, we didn't realize until we made the last payment that after you pay so long, you purchased it. And so this is a $450 manual wheelchair that we ended up paying for. And so, you know, when the weeks drag on, and then we got the diagnosis, and we were told there was no cure. We needed to get her on the ketamine infusions, the back injections. We needed to get her in with the pain management doctor right away. And we checked with all the RSD websites. They sent us a list of providers for Oklahoma. It was all pain management, nothing else. Then we were trying to wrap our brains around the fact that this might be the rest of our life. And then we found you guys.
Yeah. And you know, I can so relate to what you're saying and the way you feel, because you're the only other mother at this point. Well, I think I've met one other. To see your child pain-free, making progress, getting better, is just, it's undescribable. And the feeling is just,
right.
It's joys of, you know, it's tears of joy. It was for me, and it was for me when I saw Chelsi walk the other day. And I can't, we can't thank you enough for coming, and we're so happy and so excited to see what's yet to come, and to see her up and walking and returning back to her life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's really important for us. And we didn't we didn't know where to turn or what to do. We were looking into all kinds of alternative treatments, and when I found you guys last week, you know, I just immediately was on board because it was non-invasive. There were no long-term, you know, stigmatization with it, like with the pain medicine. We just didn't want to go that route, and that was our last option. So we were immediately on board, and you know, my daughter's 27, but still she's my daughter, and
Absolutely.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get her better, because I don't want to think about her. You know, we were talking about her finishing her degree, and then maybe instead of curating a museum, teaching online classes, because she could do that from bed. And when you start thinking of all those things, like we were talking about volunteering at the zoo and passing out candy, we were thinking of ways to design her wheelchair so she could pass out candy to the kids. And she said, well, at least I'll be on their level. You know, we were just trying to like get our minds used to the idea that, you know, we were going to have to schedule everything. We were talking about, well, cruise ships, if we go on a cruise, she'll have the better room because she'll get, you know, special treatment because she's in a wheelchair. But you don't want to think about that stuff. But we were trying to put a positive spin on everything and try to think of, okay, we can decorate her wheelchair fun, you know. But then when you sit and think about it, you're like, you know, you don't want to think that this is her life, or that we're going to have to do this. And so when we called, and when I called and talked to Dr. Glazer and to you, and mom to mom, we communicated about what was possible. That just, Chelsi was listening, because I had you on speaker, and she was filled with hope, and I was filled with hope. And although everybody else was saying you need to do this and this, we went against what everybody else said and decided to jump on board. And we are so thankful that we did, because I don't know what we would have done without you guys. You've really saved us.
Well, and you have done more for us than you'll ever know. So we're so glad, and we're going to keep up progress and keep putting you on television, Chelsi. So gonna be a movie star for it's all said and done here. So anyways, thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. You're wonderful people with a wonderful attitude, and I see this making, you know, I see Chelsi doing much more because of the knowledge. Do you feel like you have the knowledge now from the program? And let me ask you this, I get too involved and forget about the questions. Do you recommend others seeking this program that need this type of treatment?
Definitely.
Do you think this would help people with chronic pain in general, even if they're not diagnosed with RSD or CRPS? If they're willing to put in the work, do what they're told, change their outlook, their attitudes, habits.
Right.
I mean, this could work for anyone.
I agree, because, you know, like Arik was talking about, like, I have severe arthritis, and so for years my idea of how to deal with it was not moving. Same that we did here, and you know, there's ways around it. There's ways to help, and I think anybody with chronic pain, he could help, because he definitely, when Chelsi would work with, you know, we did 5 weeks of physical therapy, we hired a trainer for her, and when she would work, for a month and a half, and when she would work with these other things, during her, you know, therapy or her training, her knees would be red and hot, and she couldn't move, and then she would lay in her bed for 2 days afterwards because she was in so much pain she couldn't function. And she's worked with Arik 5 days in a row, and her pain level goes down after she works with him. And she doesn't have, you know, she's still getting the redness and the heat off and on, but she doesn't have the constant cool cloths on her knees. She's not having to lay in bed. She's moving more, you know, than she has in months. And she's able to do that because he's not throwing her back into that cycle of hot and, you know, not being able to move. He's actually helping her circulation and helping her get up and move. And when we get home, we're going to burn her her compression pantyhose that she's been living in for months.
Yeah. Well, Chelsea, we will see you again, my dear. Take care of yourself, and thank you guys. Can't say thank you enough.
Thank you.
All right, bye bye.